Hey, it's Bruce Badgley and Dell Jackson. We're making the tour here of the girls' state qualifiers for coaches. And with us tonight is Mickey McDaniel from Springford. How you doing tonight, Coach?
I'm doing great. How about Bruce and Dell? How are you two doing?
Well, we're doing really good. I mean, obviously, you not only you mentioned you're not only wearing the hat of the girls basketball coach, but you're also the athletic director there, at Springford. So, boy, you're getting a lot of crushing requests. But you said, as we were talking beforehand, all in a good way, right?
Absolutely. It's an exciting time in our community and in our school. The one thing we're not all in yet, we're still in hybrid mode, so we're not feeling those effects. The other 2 years we played the state title game, we had a pep rally before we left. Obviously, that's not going to happen this year, but there's still excitement and excitement with not only in our community of, overall, but in our youth basketball group. Unfortunately, they didn't have a season, but they have approximately 1,600 young people play in that youth basketball league. And when it's a normal year, that's what a lot of our following is those young kids. And our kids really enjoy that. And, and they understand that they're being looked at, and all the footprints they're making now in the program are what those young people are going to follow. So they take on that responsibility and role very seriously.
Dell, you got a question for Coach?
Well, every team coach has a story, like a story that gets you where you're at right now from where you began the year. What can you tell us about your story this year?
Well, we came into the season knowing you're going to have a different mindset this year with the COVID and how things are going to work, and how practice will be structured, how our games were going to be structured, who would we be playing in games. So I don't know if we have a real story other than we just stayed together. And, we got knocked out in the district semis the 3 previous years. We didn't get knocked out of the tournament, but we lost. And then we couldn't get by the second round in the States because of Cardinal O'Hara. They beat us 2 years in a row. So the seniors were on a mission this year. And it's very parallel to 2013 when that group, we lost to Archbishop Carroll in the state semis, and they in 2012, and in 2000, we didn't know this, but in the summer they vowed together, did things together that they would never have that feeling again, and they didn't. We won the state championship. This group mirrors that group in that respect. So they've taken on that same approach and same attitude. So the real story is that they've just stayed together. They get along tremendously well. They're all focused into the same goal, and that we're taking one day at a time. Part of our culture is that we're going to improve every day. And we also, part of that culture is if each player improves 1% each day. So right now we have 13 players practicing. That means we've improved 13% today. Mm-hmm. And then tomorrow, another 13%. So I don't know of any real story. We just been staying focused, and the senior class has really kept this group in line. Not that they were out of line, but, focused on the goals and the step ahead. And they took it one day at a time.
So you're saying a little bit forged out of fire from the previous years.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Because, like I said, we went down the same way 3 years in a row in the districts and in the states. And this senior class, they know this is their last ride, and they wanted to get to that state championship game, and their goal was to win the state championship game. It wasn't just to get there, it was to win the state championship game. So they've created that opportunity for themselves.
You played a pretty tough regular season schedule. You're just off a very tough, semifinal win there. There are some teams that enter championship games, on a roll that, 3 straight mercy rules, or, yourself, having a tough game. Which would you rather have? Obviously you're a veteran, going into championship games. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer the hard road or the easy road to get there?
Well, you prefer the win. So, that's the main thing. I think, when you travel the hard road, when it's all said and done, I would say it feels pretty rewarding that way, and there's also luck involved in that. We know that. We understand there's some luck involved in the success that you have. Our league had made a decision, as most leagues, we could not play any non-league games till after our last regular season schedule. So it was the intent that we needed to play out into districts against the toughest competition we could. And Central Dauphin agreed to play us, Cumberland Valley, Upper Dublin,
Governor Mifflin,
Boston, and then Governor Mifflin, and then we hit the districts. We had Penwood, I guess then Upper Dublin, and then Abington, or Abington, Upper Dublin, and then Plymouth Whitemarsh. So we had to get through a tough road coming down the stretch for our opponents, and I think it's really prepared us for this moment. It prepared us definitely for last night. Our girls really kept their poise. We've talked about this. We've had ups, we've had downs this season, but when they have been gotten down, they got right back up. And so maybe Dell, that's a story, but they've gotten right back up and kept on going. And that's why we're where we're at, So last night in the game itself was a microcosm of that. We got up 16-3.
Right.
And then we rushed 2 possessions in a row for shots, and it changed the momentum. And then, Nazareth made that comeback, and they're a very good team, well coached. And so all of a sudden we were getting on the downs a little bit, but we hung in there, and we came out with the win on the other side. And, Ahern, for that, man, she couldn't miss a 3. I thought she shot a couple of them from our parking lot. It just didn't matter where she was or who was on her. So
well, who should we be watching on your team? Who's somebody that you're gonna really eye their performance as the barometer then of how the team is ready to play?
Well, we are a believer that your best player has to play their best. I mean, Lucy Olson's our best player. She's gone to Villanova, and she's got a great resume, and she's a winner. She just wants to win. She'll will the team. She'll will herself to win. Emily Tiffin, our other senior, who is not yet committed or decided where, she's our best defender. So that's going to be a watch for her in how she defends tomorrow night. And then our 2 guards on the outside, Anna and Abby, they both are good shooters. Anna's a freshman, so she's going to have to, just long as she keeps her composure, this will be the first time she's been in this type of a situation, and she's done a great job for us. And Abby is a little spark plug, plays well defensively, leads us in charges, set a school record with 3 in one game, had 11 charges last year. When she set the 3, she hit her head, and they thought she had a concussion. No concussion, came back in, got 2 more. And then we bring Mac Pettinelli off the bench, who's a freshman, and she's had some really big moments. Last night, hit 2 buzzer beaters at the end of quarters
for us. At the end there too, right?
Yes, that's correct. Big steal at the end. She read what she had to do. So, and Haley Hudak's going to have to rebound. Haley doesn't score much for us, but she's our inside presence, and she's going to have to really rebound for us. So, it's realistically, we can say one player to kind of look at, but it's really, we're a team concept, and we're going to we just got to play with that team effectiveness, if that makes some sense to you, what we're saying. Cam Puffko will come off the bench for us. She plays big for us, but she's 5'5", but she's rugged and tough, and once in a while, Jules Sconia, our 6-foot softball player who's going to Boston U for softball after she graduates next year. So, as we tell our team, we're only as strong as our bench. And I don't mean just in games, in practice every day. And they were terrific today, as they are every day, the bench, forcing our starters to work really hard. So you just got to be looking each way, for it could be one person one night, one another night that steps up and does something that helps us win a game.
Dell, one last question for Coach.
Yeah, I do have a question. Coach, obviously you've been there before. So sometimes the coach that's been there before has the routine, or he kind of knows what to expect from media like Bruce and myself and the print media. And all of a sudden it's a bigger stage. So how do you prepare this group as compared to the group you had a couple of years ago? I mean, what stories can you tell them that will help them be ready for the games?
Well, that's a great question. And, we've been sharing what we've been through in the past. We have shared our highlight film, which is on YouTube from the year we won it. But this group seems to be focused. I mean, they've played in Arizona, Virginia, Maryland, DC, New York, Florida. So they've been where there's some great teams and big stages in that respect. This will be a different one because they've not played in an arena.
Mm-hmm.
So we're keeping the game as it's the next game. And it's the last game on the schedule. And, listen, we can preach all we want with that. They know the reality of the game. But I think sometimes if you make the game bigger than what it is, it has the adverse effect. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're doing as we move along each day. Is we're just talking about the next game. We're talking about North Allegheny, who we're familiar with. They were in our place a couple of years ago to play, and we were up 6 with 4 to go, and doggone it, forced a few turnovers and a couple threes, and they beat us by 4. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to go out there the next year, and we had the snow, so we couldn't go. But so they have been really humble the whole year and really focused what the task is at hand. I can't guarantee you they won't walk in that arena and go like Hoosiers, wow, we might have to get the tape measure out, measure the rim, holler so it echoes a little bit. But when we went up there the first time and won the state championship, it was a senior-laden team, which this is. And everything was taken in stride. So they seem to really mirror that group from that aspect.
Well, I tell you what, the best part of having these Zoom presentations, and I was telling Dell this a little bit earlier, is the fact that when, Dell and I are out on the floor, before the game, we can come up and say hello. At least we'll know who you are, and, we wish you all the luck in the world, enjoy the moment. And, thanks for your time. Obviously wearing 2 hats. We really appreciate it. And, we'll see you. Let's see, on you're playing Friday at 5 o'clock, right?
Friday at 5 o'clock. And yeah, we'll be there. And, Bruce, maybe to kind of Dell, to cap off your question, we have 4 words we tell them: stay in the moment. So that's the one thing that we all have been talking about. Just stay in the moment and really enjoy the experience. I think if there's any advice I could give to a coach going there for the first time is enjoy it. Really enjoy it. Coach like crazy, but really understand and enjoy it because it's not easy to get back to.
Yeah.
And I want to thank what you, Bruce, and Dell do, and all the media who really, elevate interscholastic sports. And, when it gets to a state championship game and what you all do and through interviews, et cetera, how you lift the team and the girls, how you lift the teams and the girls and how important they feel. This is a great moment for them in their life they'll never forget.
Well, good. Thank you very much. And it should be fun. I know that, this is my second time doing all 6 state girls championship games. And I enjoy the moment. I mean, I'm up there calling the games and I enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to having Dell by my side and looking forward to calling your game with North Allegheny. That's going to be a whale of a game. And, we'll see you in Hershey. Thank you so much for your time, Mickey.
Thank you. Have a great night, gentlemen. See you Friday.
Good luck.
Thank you.